Now, I'm not going to get into the weeds about how exactly a transfer of power could take place, but we did see a glimpse of revolutionary potential in this country in the summer of 2020. Let's imagine another scenario like the upsurge of the George Floyd movement, where millions and millions of people are pouring into the streets from coast to coast. But instead of a spontaneous uprising, we're talking about an organized uprising, a coordinated general strike action that has units of workers that have been preparing for it in every industry and every workplace, that are
a coordinated effort of workers across every union, because guys, every single union is run by socialists. Every single workplace. There in the launch video for the Revolutionary Communists of America political party, they flat out said that their goal was to have people in every workplace, in every union, in every organization to coordinate exactly what they're talking about now. Let's just rewind.
Could take place, but we did see a glimpse of revolutionary potential in this country in the summer of 2020. Let's imagine another scenario like the upsurge of the George Floyd movement, where millions and millions of people are pouring into the streets from coast to coast. But instead of a spontaneous uprising, we're talking about an organized uprising, a coordinated general strike action that has units of workers that have been preparing for it in every industry and every workplace, that are organized as units preparing to do something more than just paralyze industry, to do something more than just bring society to a halt. You have strike committees, workers' councils prepared in advance. We saw what Trump did. He went underground in his...
Guys, the reason that they launched their political party now is the political party is the organizing force for the revolution. This is when shit starts to get real. They spent 70 years taking over the institutions inch by inch. They have spent the last 15 years proactively destabilizing our society. Now they move into the real stuff. Now the attacks on capitalism, which I've been telling you are going to come more and more often. And you know how they're going to come? By getting people inside every single... What have I been saying for years? The 4 goals of the woke left are always the same. Gain as much power as possible. Destabilize the system. Attack capitalism. Usher in their Marxist utopia. We hear them attack capitalism all the time when they name capitalism and they say they want to abolish it. But what he is talking about is a literal attack on capitalism. They're literally using the workplaces to coordinate the revolution. They're using capitalism to coordinate the revolution. No, there's no way to destabilize their system because you would have to take over the institutions to do it. You're too late. Ain't no way to do it, bro. It took them 70 years to take over all the major institutions. That's what we're talking about. You don't get to destabilize their system with any significance until you take back the institutions, and that's not going to happen within your lifetime. Do you guys see how they are making their attack quite literally on capitalism? What have I been saying? Around 2008, 2009, 2010, they started creating equity departments in public school districts, formalized equity departments. This was right when Barack Obama got elected. This was when Occupy Wall Street happened. This is when we started seeing mentions of racism in the New York Times and the Washington Post and all those newspapers go through the roof. At the same time, and no one talks about this but me, they were forming equity departments and formalizing equity departments in every K through 12 school district across the country, and no one noticed because they didn't know what equity meant. They thought it was about equality when it never was. Equity means Marxism. What that means is the first graduating classes from high school and from college that have been educated in equity from the time they were 5 years old are graduating now. and entering the workforce now. And they're not going back. This is not going to be one of those things where it's like liberal in your 20s or you have no heart, conservative by your 30s or you have no brain. That's not happening anymore because this is the first generation in which every single one of them has been educated in this stuff in every single class since they were 5 years old. You don't overcome that type of indoctrination. And now they're all going into the workforce. And these people are telling you flat out, we are going to use the workforces, the corporations, the organizations to coordinate the literal Marxist revolution. So someone asked earlier, why do I say 10 to 15 years left? Because that's the stage we're at. That's the stage we're at. We're at like stage 3 cancer and we're almost getting to stage 4. That's how bad the situation is, guys. And so if people think I have a tone when I can't get conservatives to listen to me and to actually watch this material, and James Lindsay wants to lie to his fucking audience, and Jesse Kelly wants to block anyone who mentions me in his comments, and Konstantin Kisin just couldn't be bothered to look because he's too busy saving the world for liberal values, and Dave Rubin is calling around people's jobs trying to get people fired if he doesn't like their position on Israel. If I sound like I have a tone when I'm dealing with these people who will not listen and who do not take this seriously, this is why. We don't have time left, and the conservative right and all the goddamn influencers who have access to be able to communicate to people are dicking around and not listening and not paying attention, and they're going, Karlyn is just so mean on Twitter. She's just so mean. All she does is fight. It's so off-brand, darling. We can't be associated with that riffraff. And in the meantime, I'm the only one telling you the truth about what the timeline is on this thing and how it's happening and showing it to you so you don't have to take my word for it. You never have to take my word for it. Guys, you don't need to like my tone in order to see what is happening right in front of you. Bro, I accepted this a long-ass time ago, and that's why we owned guns. Let's listen one more time. And I'm going to let it play this time.
Millions of people are pouring into the streets from coast to coast. But instead of a spontaneous uprising, we're talking about an organized uprising, a coordinated general strike action that has units of workers that have been preparing for it in every industry and every workplace, that are organized as units preparing to do something more than just paralyze industry, to do something more than just bring society to a halt. You have strike committees, workers' councils prepared in advance this week, where after a lot of intense debate, there's a formal announcement that says the office of the Speaker of the House of the United States House of Representatives is hereby declared vacant. Well, with a victorious transfer of power, I think we can make a similar announcement when it comes out. It'll be a shorter one. The United States House of Representatives is hereby declared vacant. And I personally, this is just on a detail, but I think it would be nice if we could get a hold of the national emergency system that they tested on Wednesday and make sure that we blast out on every cell phone, every TV, every radio in the whole country, and make sure everyone knows.
Hang on, I want to listen to that one more time because I missed something because I was tweeting. Sorry. So they're saying, he's flat out saying the United States House of Representatives is vacant. This is the first time I've heard them say they want to destroy that because they're all about representative democracy, but okay, fine.
Victorious transfer of power, I think we can make a similar announcement when it comes out. It'll be a shorter one. The United States House of Representatives is hereby declared vacant.
When I say they're talking about overthrowing the government, what I mean is they're talking about overthrowing the government. The Civil War is not red versus blue. The Civil War is radical revolutionary socialist versus the government.
And I personally, this is just on a detail, but I think it would be nice if we could get a hold of the national emergency system that they tested on Wednesday and make sure that we blast that on every cell phone, every TV, every radio in the whole country, and make sure everyone knows this is the end of capitalism right here. We're going to have a lot of red flags too. Big ones. I'm mostly excited for the one that's going to go on top of the One World Trade Center. But I think the White House is going to look pretty epic as well, a red flag over the White House.
Why did they blur that out? Why did they blur that out? What just happened? What just happened? Why did they blur that out? Yeah, a giant red flag over the White House. Everyone owes me $2 that hasn't paid up yet. I was right.
And looking at capitalism, looking around, especially once we get outside here in Manhattan, this nerve center of imperialism, those imposing skyscrapers of finance capital, and realizing capitalism is not natural. Capitalism is not sacred or eternal. It's not omnipotent, and it won't last forever. Comrades, until we reach the day where we can see that task through to the end, it's our duty to gather together the grave diggers of this system and prepare for revolution.
Look at that room. Look at that room. Those are people who sat there all weekend for Marxist school learning about Marxism. Is that like 100, 150 people in that room? Maybe not the biggest event in the world, but they do these events all the time. They have meetups all the time. Lots of drab colors, right? Except for red. You see a pop of red here and there. You see some red, but mostly drab colors, like I told you. That's really the end of it, guys. So how's everyone feeling now that we know exactly how they're planning to organize the Marxist revolution? It is amazing what happens when you actually stop fucking around on Twitter and sit down and listen to actual socialist talk. And then they say, here's exactly how we're going to elicit the revolution. We're going to use workplaces to organize. We're going to use unions to organize. We are using this political party to organize. And we're preparing, man. We're getting all of our ducks in a row. We're getting all our chess pieces in place. And you ain't even going to know what's coming. And then we're going to take over the federal fucking government and raise a red flag above the White House. Does everyone get it? Does everyone get why I have a tone? All these goddamn conservative influencers who are like 1776. None of them will talk about this. There are literally people in this country right now talking about using workplaces to organize that are massively organized all over the country, that just formed a political party that the conservatives are using to own the libs. And Jordan Peterson's like, ha ha ha, doesn't the mainstream media know that communism always fails? Ha ha ha, why aren't they covering this? Meanwhile, no one's talking about the fact that they have 30 organized centers across the country in all types of areas, not just blue areas. They're actively talking about taking over workplaces, taking over unions. Well, they already own the unions, so they're not even taking that over, but they're using them to organize and coordinate and get new people into their ranks with the goal of taking over the federal fucking government and raising a red communist flag over the White House. And we just saw that laid out on video. And I didn't make any of that up. And people want to know why I have a tone when I have to deal with little pussy bitches like Jesse Kelly, who block people just for mentioning my name, or James Lindsay, who refuses to use the word capitalism, or any of these people who refuse to look at primary source evidence because that bitch has a stupid haircut and a mean tone. I have been screaming about this for years, for literally years, and now it's all coming to a head. And again, I am the only goddamn person talking about it, and no one else will listen. So here's what we need to do. This can't just be me screaming about this, guys. We're going to start coordinating all of you guys together. The people who sit here and watch this stuff with me, the people who know what's going on, the people who are scared as hell about this, you guys need to force people to talk about it. And we're going to coordinate this. We're going to do reply guy shit on Twitter because Twitter is all these fucking people care about. I will keep doing this stuff and finding news stories and finding things to share and making videos and explaining things. But I need your guys' help in making sure we are annoying the ever-loving F out of these feckless fucking influencers until they come to heel and they start talking about this. I need everyone to be sharing everything. I need everyone to be haranguing people. This can't just be me screaming on the internet. We all have to do this together, okay? And right now, if people want to go over to Tim Pool's chat and send in some Karlyn is right super chats, I'm not going to tell you no, because I am done being nice with these people that refuse to talk about this. If we need to create this little underground cult thing, like literally underground cult thing, to talk about this when no one else is, then I will fucking coordinate that shit. We're already doing propaganda in my supporter Discord anyway. But I need people to show up. I need people to show up. So I'm going to be sending out a post on my Substack. I'm going to send out a post on my Substack later tonight, karlyn.substack.com. And that's going to have information that will tell you guys where to go and how to get involved. Okay? And I need everyone to show up and to start doing shit. Because if you guys don't start pressuring these people into actually saying something, they're never going to do it. The radical revolutionary socialists are not the people we're going after right now. We just want to know what they have to say. The people we're going after are the feckless fucking conservative influencers who are continuing to lie to their audiences. And if we can use their names to get in front of their audiences to show them video of radical revolutionary socialists literally talking about overthrowing the federal government and their organized plan to do so, then that's what we need to do. And I don't give a fuck what their feelings are. Facts don't care about your feelings, conservatives. You've sat on your asses long enough. I'm sick of this shit. I don't want to live in a Marxist utopia. And I don't think any of you do either. So I'm going to send out a post on the Substack. Bing. Link in the description. And I will tell you how to get involved. Please show up. All right, that's all I have. Go watch Tim Pool. I'm not going to because I'm going to go cry into a corner. But I'll be back for happy hour tomorrow at 5 p.m. We'll watch more socialism and we'll have beer. Is everyone ready for beer? I'm ready for beer. All right, guys, that's all. Take care. We'll see you soon. Bye.